This is Gemara Nedarim Daf Mem Hey. An exciting day again in the world of Daf Yomi. As B'siyat Dishmaya, we're finishing the fourth parak of Nedarim and beginning the fifth parak. So we're holding on Mem Daled Mebeis, as you see in front of you, and we're up to a Shaila when the Gemara says Meisvei. So of course, to quickly remind ourselves what exactly is going on, so that we can dive straight into the Meisvei, we are reminded as follows. We looked back up for a quick moment at Mem Dalet and Aleph, in which we had two ways of explaining a brisa. We had Ula and we had Reish Lakish. Ula and Reish Lakish. The basic difference between Ula and Reish Lakish was, are we going with Rav Yosi or are we going with the Rabbanan? To remind ourselves a bit deeper, Rav Yosi was of the opinion that how does Hefker work, this unique entity, that Hefker is not just ownerless. Hefker, the way that it works is it's in like this middle area. The example we always give is that if I give this item and I make it Hefker, what happens? Now it is sitting in this middle area. There's water in here, I don't want to spill. Now it is sitting in this middle area. And what? It's really mine until someone else takes it. Just like a matana goes from my rishos to the recipient's rishos. So Ula, again, so now in explaining the Brisa, Ula learned that the Seifa is as well the Shita of the Rabbanan. And the question was, in the Seifa, according to the Shita of the Rabbanan, what's the reason? Actually, everyone can be chayzer. And the reason is because the Seifa was a unique case, as you see in the top of Mem Dalet and Aleph, was that someone was mafker something for a specific amount of time, a week, a month, a year, 7 years. And in that case, says Ula, say the Rabbanan, it's lo shchiach, and that's the reason why if no one is zeichan it, you could back out within the amount of time of your neder. That was Ula. Reish Lakish said no. Really, we'll all go with the sheet of Rav Yosi. The question is, according to Rav Yosi, the Reisha said that for 3 days you can be chayzer. Why only 3 days? After 3 days you can't be chayzer. According to Rav Yosi, it should be sitting in this middle area, and I should always be able to be chayzer. With that mindset, says the Gemara, Meisvei, 3 lines down, Mem Dalet and Mebeis. Hamavker is karmai. So makes Hefker is karem, his vineyard. Ule shachar, in the morning, what happens? Amad, he gets up, Baruch Hashem, ubatzrai, or to be more precise, as my chavrusa says, ubitzarai. He gets up and he picks the fruit. What is the halach? Chayiv b'peret u'ba'olos u'b'shivcha v'peya. These 4 entities, peret, olos, shivcha, and peya, these are the 4 matnas kahuna, 4 grapes. So at night he was mafker it, in the morning he took it back. What's the halacha? He's obligated in the 4 matnas kahuna, but he is pater min ha-meiser. So now articulates Gemara the question. Now the Gemara articulates the question as follows. Ask the Gemara, Bishlama. Ask the Gemara, Bishlama Ula. I understand according to Ula, Dirabanan Katanila, Udaraisa Katanila. According to Ula, the way that we learned the previous yes, according to Ula, the way we learned the previous brisa is that everything going is according to the opinion of the Rabbanan. The only difference in the previous brisa is, are we dealing with din deraisa? We're dealing with din derabbanan. The whole din that you could be chayzer for 3 days was a din derabbanan, meaning on a deraisa level we're able to be chayzer. The answer is no. On a derabbanan level, the halacha is there's a new chiyav in meiser, because on a derabbanan level they gave you the 3 days to be chayzer, and therefore this brisa we could always split a hair according to Ula deraisa derabbanan. Let's take a moment, because it's such a short daf. Let's take a quick moment to let the Ran speak out what we just said. We're on the second very wide line of Ran. Says the Ran, Bishlam Ula derabbanan katanila. I understand Ula according to the Rabbanan with deraisa katanila. Koloimar explains the Ran. Even though the previous brisa, the sheet of the Rabbanan was what? That within 3 days you can be chayzer v'kivan shekain, and because that's the case, ki zachabahu mechayev b'maiser. Remind ourselves, din Rabbanan, we're worried about swindlers ramayim, and therefore within 3 days if you're zeicha, what's the halacha? There's a chiyav in maiser. Why is there a chiyav meiser? I thought anytime something is hefker, there's no chiyav meiser. Correct on a deraisa level, but on a derabbanan level, they said that within 3 days of your chayzer, these yes chiyav meiser, chiyav meiser b'derabbanan. Afilu hachi, so I can understand. Ki as yahach alibayu. This brisa about the vineyard could still fit with the Rabbanan. Shapir, why? De potter, the brisa here says you're potter in meiser. The karmai, what did the brisa say? You potter min meiser. Why? The kamar midaraisa katani law. That's on the high level. That's on a daraisa level. But einachanami. Ulu will tell you according to the Rabbanan, avul midrabbanan einachanami de mechayiv. So according to Ula, according to the Rabbanan, all is good and dandy. Elul Reish Lakish. But says the Gemara, what is Reish Lakish going to say? Amai potter min meiser. According to Reish Lakish, where is the P'turei Meiser? According to Reish Lakish, we're going with Rav Yosi. According to Reish Lakish, according to Rav Yosi, where every time you're mafker or something, it's at this middle level. You could always be chayzer. If you're always chayzer, why is there a P'turei Meiser? There should be the good old-fashioned chiyav in Meiser. Let's go back to the Ran for one more moment. El Reish Lakish, Demukim la le'idach de Rav Yosi. Hach, in this case, explains the Ran, explains the Gemara's kasha. Heichi evshar detesi alibayu. How we're 4 lines to the end of the Amud in the Ran. How can we explain this according to Rav Yosi? Rav Yosi, kiven damar mafki yochel boy. According to Rav Yosi, the whole rule of Rav Yosi's chiddush is that one who's mafkir's line can always be chayzer because it's sitting in this middle level. Medina, that is the halacha, that is the din. So therefore what? Explains the Ran, articulates the kasha. When he gets up early and he takes back the stuff, amai butter. Why is he butter? The kivin to baris shoes hefker name of the mahadik ader bay nimsa shulai butter, and therefore there should be a good old fashioned chiyav in meiser. So I asked the Gemara according to Reish Lakish, what do you do with this brisa? So numerous answers. Amar lecha, responds Reish Lakish on the last line of Endalim Beis, ki amri ano l'Rav Yosi. I, Reish Lakish, explained the previous brisa according to Rav Yosi. Ha, but this brisa Rabbanan. Says Reish Lakish, I don't understand the question. Says Reish Lakish, we have multiple brises. One brise is Rav Yosi, one brise is a Rabbanan. Says Reish Lakish, I don't even understand why you're bothering me about this. I went to all the lengths to the previous brisa to explain how both halves of the brisa are Rav Yosi. Gevaldik. However, this brisa, what's the problem? Says Reish Lakish, I have absolutely no problem saying that this brisa is going with the shita of the Rabbanan. So a difficult question, but Reish Lakish's teretz is quite simple. Answers the Gemara, Iba Yisema, that was teretz number 1. Now this Iba Yisema is really where things get very, very interesting in the world of the Ran. I say in the world of the Ran because, as we've been seeing many times, other Rishainim have different takes of the Gemara. Iba Yisema. A second teretz says the Gemara, Ha de Afke ban pei train, Ha de Afkre ba pei tlasa. Says the Gemara, Mem Hei Amar Aleph. Top line. I'll tell you another answer. Reish Lakish could say, really, this brisa is Rav Yosi. If it's Rav Yosi, what's the difference? Why in this brisa is there a patur from Meiser? Because the difference is when you made it hefker. Did you make it hefker in front of 2 people? Did you make it hefker in front of 3 people? If you made it hefker in front of 2 people, that's when Rav Yosi says you can be chayzer. But if you made it hefker in front of 3 people, then Rav Yosi is maskim. We're going to see another important round. Let's just read 2 more lines. I'm Rav Yochanan Mishum Rav Shimon ben Yitzadok. Kol hamafker b'fnei shleisha have hefker b'fnei shnayim loy have hefker. Let's look at Iran as the Ran does the math for us over here, and this comes out absolutely astounding. Says the Ran, the top line, Kiloimar, second line. Hachmas nita namida mafker es karmai. This brisa of one being mafker the vineyard, kirav yoisi asya. Dad, kan lo Rav Yosi ha mafker achlach zerbai. Says the Ran, you know what this second teretz is saying? A bomb. That when did Rav Yosi say his din? The chiddush that we've been talking about for 3 days of Rav Yosi. The chiddush that when I'm after something is sitting in this middle level was when Elo the afkri ba'abei trey. Is when I'm after something in front of 2 people. Kiloimar explains the Ran again. She'ein sham shloisha. Tumi de masnisa de ketani, that there's not 3 people like our Mishnah that says they need ba'im acher. Ubaha bil chod. Who de Aser Rav Yosi. In this specific case, this fear late Cholki Agam the Hefker Kimatana. Says the Ran, you know what the Gemara just did? The Gemara just told us that this entire Chiddush of Rav Yosi is only when the Hefker is in front of 2 people. But Rav Yosi would agree that if the Hefker is in front of 3 people, then yes, it'll be a good old-fashioned Hefker, a regular ownerless, no Chiddush of Rav Yosi. And the Raya is from Rav Yechon in the name of Shimon Yotzadok. We conclude the Perek. Rav Yeshua ben Levi, just to parenthetically point out, what's fascinating is we have 2 terutzim in the Gemara, and it comes out according to each teret a world of a difference. According to the first teret, Rav Yosi sticking to his guns. The only time, there's never a real Hefker. There's never a real Hefker. The Brisa, the second Brisa, says Rish Lakish. That's according to the Rabbanan. Rav Yosi in all cases holds of his Chiddush that what is Hefker? This middle level holding ground. According to the second teretz in the Siba Yisema, now we have a totally new explanation of Rav Yosi. The Perek concludes with there are those who argue, Rav Shimon Levi Amar, no, Devar Torah, and this is the Psak Halach, as you see from the little Aleph, Midaraisa afilu be'echad avi hefker. On a din daraisa, 1 person is enough to make something real hefker. So where did this whole entity that you need 3 people? What's the reason? The reason is that you don't want to have 1 person being Zaycha and 2 people being Meid. And therefore, and with that, that you don't want to have, the reason why the Chacham said you need 3 people is so that in any scenario, that one is being mafker something, in any scenario that one is being mafker something, you don't want to have that one should be the one being zeicha. That you always want, you want 3 people there, so you have a Haggadas Eidos, so you have someone there to tell you what exactly happened. That's the reason, that's a din derabanan. That is Yeshua ben Levi. And with that, we conclude the Perek. Hadron halach ein bein hamoider. Hadron halach. We should do a chazara. This was, in reality, a difficult Perek. It was a very difficult Perek. In words, it was very simple. In words, you probably could read through the entire Perek in 1 sitting. There comes I was waiting for the confetti. There it is. In words, we could probably read through the entire Perek in 1 sitting, but in depth, in understanding, this was very, very difficult. So we should do quite an incredible chazara of this wonderful Perek. And with that, we flip over to the next Perek of Hashutafim. Memhei Amid Beis. As you're going to see, this is a very small Amid. It goes all the way into tomorrow's daf. The Mishnah itself flows over. So we're just going to make a haschala right now. Says the Mishnah, Shutafim shenadru ana zemizeh. Partners that say we're not going to have any benefit. The same neder hana, you're not going to benefit one from another. Now 2 partners say that. So what's the story? Reuven and Shimon are in partnership. Now they can't benefit of each other. What do? Says the Mishnah, case Tanakama, surely kanes lachatzer. You're not allowed to enter another person's courtyard. If Reuven and Shimon are neder hana, if Reuven goes into Shimon's courtyard, now if there's a joint owner courtyard, neither could enter because the mere entering is giving you a hana for another person. Whereas Lazbin Yaakov, they both are allowed to, yes, enter the courtyard. And we're really going to stop with that. And tomorrow we're going to pick up from the Mishnah again. The Ran over here in the second line points out that we're talking about a case of a small courtyard, that there's not enough that each person could have his own portion. That's one very important halacha. And the other very important halacha is, what is the lumdis? What exactly is going on over here? And we're just going to highlight, we're going to go about 5 lines down into the Ran, and we're looking on their screen, you should see this right in front of you. Rav Elazar ben Yaakov Polig Alayu Mishom Desfira Alei Diyesh Breira. This is going to be the big sugya of Breira. Says the Ran, Mishamachi Amrinan Dechol Shah V'Shah. Each and every moment. Shenichlas L'Chatzer B'Nin Avshei Ka'ayil, you're entering into your own area of a guf ha'chaser k'nu yeloi ligamri loy setashmish. So just to explain, and with this we conclude, what does breira mean? Hover adavar lemafreya. Retroactively, it's clarified that this is that which it was. So we have 2 people over here, and they're both walking into a chatzar. Says Tanakam, you can't walk into a chatzar. Every step into the chatzar, you're getting benefit from another guy. Says Rav Elazar ben Yaakov, no. And the way that let's try to visualize this, is that, let's say we have one is blue and one is red, and we have a courtyard, which is, a light up courtyard. So if each person walks in, he's benefiting from the other one. Says Rav Elazar ben Yaakov, no. As soon as I take a step into the courtyard, let's view it like one of these electronic screens, boom, it's going to make the area I'm stepping on red. Now, what do you mean the other guy is blue? Okay, well, the other area is going to be blue. And then when I take the next step, it's to make that red. And then the next step will be that red. Meaning, hover adavar, every moment I'm getting benefit from this courtyard, retroactively, it's clear that area was really mine. Because in reality, we have a 50-50 ownership in this. We're going to pick up from this in Mir Hashem the next year as we go deeper into the Mishnah, deeper into this 5th parak. Mazel tov, mazel tov.